Hey, welcome to Thursday. Last night triominoes, and I actually won triominoes. I think we've played 3 times. That was the first time I won. So congratulations, Dan. Thank you. Here's your bombardment question. You are loved by, and list all the people that you're loved by. You're loved by a lot more people than you realize you are. Um, you are loved by. Um, I'm reminded that during this time, God is calling us to serve in different ways. And a couple of examples just in my own family. My daughter in law and my son in Tyler, Texas, they work with an outfit that works with single moms, high school age single moms. And so these moms are at home by themselves and in their teenage years. And so my daughter in law has put together a website. You can go on, you can purchase all sorts of different things, like diapers or wet wipes or all sorts of things, and then delivering them to them. Just a creative way to say, hey, how can we be the hands and feet of Jesus during this time? My daughter, who lives in LaGrange, Texas, is an artist. What she's been doing is painting pictures, posting them. She's got a following because she does a blog. She posts them and says, whatever you want to purchase this painting for, I will give that money to somebody who is without a job, somebody who needs it. So I think she's sold about 6, 7 pictures so far and raised about $200. And then she just takes that $200 and she gives it away. So just creative ways of being involved in your community, helping. You can do stuff like that in your neighborhood with people you know. The excruciating work of the cross is nearing its brutal end. Think about it. Jesus has gone through the trial. He's been beaten. He's been mocked. He's been flogged. He's been placed on a cross. And the cross produces a slow death, and it was created to do so. And finally, Jesus experiences his end. In John chapter 19, verse 30, let me read it to you. It says this, and when Jesus therefore received the sour wine, he said, it is finished. He bowed his head and gave up his spirit. It is finished. It's a single Greek word it's a single Greek word. The Greek word is tetelestai. Tetelestai. And it literally means debt paid in full. It's a Greek word. If you were living in Rome and you took your receipt in and you paid taxes, your tax bill was stamped paid in full. Tetelestai was printed across your tax bill. It was paid in full. And when Jesus said, it is finished, Jesus didn't say, I am finished. He says, it is finished. He is boldly proclaiming that his redemptive work is complete. He, the sin payment, has been sacrificed for our debt. For those who receive the payment, their death is paid in full. Think about you as a believer in Jesus Christ. There is a stamp across you, tetelestai. It was a victory cry when Jesus died on the cross. Now, interesting, I want you to go with me. It says in chapter 19, verse 30, it says, he bowed his head and then he said, it is finished. Now, I want you to cross over into Luke chapter 23, verse 46. So he bows his head. He says, tetelestai, it's finished. I have done what I came to do. Jesus came to die. He came to pay the penalty for our sins. And now, get what he says in verse 46. And as Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, his head is bowed, and he says, Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit. Having said this, he breathed his last. Now you think about most of the time what happens is when a person dies on the cross, what they would do is they would gasp, and then the spirit would leave them. and then they would die. But what Jesus did is he bowed, and then the Spirit left him. The picture is one of submission to what he came to do, even to the point of death, death on the cross. It's a testament to the fact of why he came. He came to pay the penalty for our sins, and he knew that. And so when he bowed, he was submitting to God and saying, I have done what you have brought me here to do. The debt is paid in full. So into thy hands I commit my spirit. And then the Spirit left him. All of us, our debt has been paid. And all of us owe a debt because of our sin. Here's a great question. Great question for you and your family. Think of all the ways that mankind tries to earn his salvation. In other words, think of all the ways that we try to pay the debt for our sin. The list is endless, and it can be done in the name of religion, where we keep doing things to try and earn our debt being paid. And consider how foolish that is, because Jesus is the only one who can pay for our debt, because he's the only perfect sacrifice. So your debt being paid, my debt being paid as a follower in Jesus Christ is only because of what Christ did on the cross. And he testified to that. The debt has been paid in full. We can't do it. Interesting exercise to brainstorm as a family all the ways that people attempt to pay for their own debt. And it's impossible to do. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we will see you tomorrow morning.